Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're opening a file that's particularly disturbing. It's a collection of field recordings and some really desperate personal accounts.
Yeah, this one reads less like technical documentation and more like a warning.
We're stepping away from the usual analysis to look at a true anomaly. We're dissecting the case of a professional sound recordist.
This person went deep, deep into the Pacific Northwest forests. Their whole job was to capture pure, untouched nature sounds.
And the mission was simple, really. Capture silence. But what they captured instead was something else. A very specific, repeatable void that seemed to operate on a clock.
Right. And our job today is to unpack what's been called the 341 anomaly. We have to look at the relentless precision of it all.
And the effects.
Yeah.
The bizarre physical and, psychological effects it started to have, not just on the person who recorded it, but on anyone who just listened.
The whole case hinges on this sonic evidence. And it's so important to understand the setup here. If this was recorded on some cheap gear, you just dismiss it.
Oh, absolutely.
But this was a pro. Top-tier equipment. Shotgun mic, carbon tripod, the recorder sealed in a Pelican case, all of it wired for maximum sensitivity, miles from any kind of interference.
They were looking for perfection. They trusted their gear completely.
And that trust is key, because when they first reviewed the 8-hour tape, everything looked clean.
Yeah, soft wind, the usual creaks of the woods at night, maybe an owl. It was perfect.
Exactly what they wanted, until they hit that one point in the timeline.
3:41 a.m., exactly.
And the sound event itself, this defies physics. When you play it back, the recording captures this moment where the atmosphere seems to, and this is their quote, buckle inward like a vacuum pop.
Which is, what does that even mean? And it's followed by the sharp single sound, like an inhale.
And then a groan. A heavy, deep creak, like ancient wood twisting under some kind of impossible strain.
But then came the real anomaly. 63 seconds of total, absolute silence.
And we have to be clear here. This is not quiet. This is the complete stop of all environmental noise.
The wind is gone. The high-end hiss you always get from the forest floor, insects, all of it vanished.
And crucially, the waveform on the equipment didn't flatline, which would suggest a failure. The environment itself simply stopped making sound.
It's the paradox of a perfect void. Even in the most remote place on Earth, there's always some ambient sound. Always.
Air molecules moving, the internal noise of the gear itself. But here, for exactly 63 seconds, the world was acoustically paralyzed.
And its return was just as sudden, wasn't it?
Instantaneous. A faint crack, like a tree stretching, and the entire chorus of the night just snapped back on.
Okay, so the first thought has to be a rational one, right? Some kind of, a weird pressure drop, military exercise.
Of course. And they tried. They tried to explain it as a fault line shifting or something. That's the professional response.
But the timing.
The timing makes it impossible. 3:41 a.m. on the dot. A natural event would be random. This was clinical, was scheduled. And that's what forced them to go back.
So, night 2. They have to test this. They have to see if it happens again.
And they go back to the exact same spot, but this time with a completely fresh set of gear. A parabolic dish, new cables. Everything is different.
To meticulously rule out a hardware glitch.
And the environment gives them a chilling, undeniable confirmation.
At exactly 3:41 a.m.
It happens again. The same sucked-in static, the same inhale, and the identical 63 seconds of silence. That kind of precision, on different nights with different hardware, it's not an error.
But it wasn't exactly the same, was it? It had evolved.
Yes. The creaking sound was louder this time.
Yeah.
Definitely closer. And there was something new. A grinding noise.
Ugh. The description is, it's like roots twisting under dry soil or teeth.
It's like the world itself was in pain. And they checked everything. Seismic data, weather patterns, nothing. Their engineering contact joked about it.
Yeah.
Bigfoot scratching his back or some unknown RF interference.
Because there was no rational explanation.
The natural world had no answers.
And this is the moment it stops being a personal mystery. This is where it becomes dangerous.
The upload error.
Catastrophic. They meant to upload the clean version of the sound library, the one with the 63-second gap edited out.
But they uploaded the raw file, the unedited file. The anomaly was now public.
At first, the feedback was, easy to write off, people hearing whispers in the wind, seeing faces in the sound waves, standard stuff.
But then came the email from Nolan, and that's what validated the threat.
Nolan, a listener, said he woke up around 3:30 a.m., gasping for air. He said it felt like a heavy weight was just sitting on his chest.
And when he checked the audio file, He did his own analysis. He sent a screenshot, a spectrogram of the 3.41 AM segment.
And this is where the technical details get really, really weird.
Well, a spectrogram is a visual map of sound frequencies. And remember, everyone agrees there was 63 seconds of dead silence. You could hear nothing.
Yet Nolan's spectrogram showed a shape, a clear, symmetrical shape sitting right in the middle of that silence.
A shape made of super low frequencies, hollow in the center, with these long vertical streaks coming off it. The narrator described them as looking like arms or legs for far too long.
How can a silent recording contain a visual frequency pattern?
It suggests the silence wasn't an absence of sound. It was an active, dampening field. Something was still there, acoustically present, just in a range we can't hear.
And once they realized that, all the other listener reports, they started to make a terrifying kind of sense.
The domino effect. Power cuts in Oregon, lasting for exactly 1 minute, starting at 3:41 a.m.
A dog barking like crazy at the speaker playing the audio and then refusing to ever enter that room again.
But the plants, that's the one that gets me. 4 house plants found, fully blackened, crispy, like they'd been flash-dried.
The audio wasn't just a recording, it was a transmission. It was creating these localized negative events thousands of miles away. It was contagious.
This drove the narrator back to the original files. They pushed them through every kind of noise reduction, spectral isolation.
And they found things hidden beneath the static. A single deep knock.
And footsteps. Wet footsteps. Soft but spaced very far apart, which suggests something heavy. Something moving deliberately.
And when they overlaid the 2 nights...
The knock was identical. But on night 2, the footsteps started sooner. And they were audibly closer to the microphones.
Whatever it was being drawn in. Maybe by the narrator's presence.
All of this, the symptoms, the power outages, the footsteps, not to mention people online calling them a hoaxer, a murderer even. It pushed them to a final desperate act.
They had to go back, one last time, to confront it.
They set up just after 2 in the morning. High-end monitoring gear for real-time feedback this time.
And a hunting knife, just in case.
Curiosity was long gone. This was desperation.
You can just imagine the final seconds ticking down to 3.41. Their own breathing must have sounded like a hurricane.
And then the clock flips. 3.41.
Gone. Everything. Just gone. The laptop waveform frozen flat. The only sound in the entire world was their own sharp, ragged breath.
And then a twig snapped. Directly behind them.
The sound of the world came rushing back, but it was wrong. It was broken, echoing, out of sync, like reality was lagging.
And that's when they saw the movement. Fast. Circling in the shadows. Something too slender, too long. Glimpses of limbs blurring between the trees.
The description of this thing, it breaks all the rules of biology. They saw the head, and it was hanging upside down from high in the trees.
Supported by its own legs, which were wrapped around a branch in a way that just isn't possible.
The eyes were just wide, black pools of oil. The face, all crumpled and gray and wrinkled with this huge, silent smile.
But the movement was the real horror. The impossible physics of it. A hand started reaching for them slowly, and it just kept stretching.
The elbow bent the wrong way. The fingers lengthened, inch by silent inch. It wasn't a creature. It was the anomaly itself, given form.
And that was it. Pure animal panic. They ran, bolted for the car, hearing this thing just thewing from branch to branch above them.
And every time it landed, this deep, low shudder went through the ground. A shudder that they said rang in their teeth.
They got to the car, slammed the door shut, and a split second later, slap.
A hand on the windshield. Bone-white skin, long black nails that screeched lines across the glass.
And the face peered in, neck twisted all the way around, those inverted, grinning eyes.
They got away. Just pure luck. But you'd think, that's it. Get home, lock the doors, delete the file, erase it from existence.
But that's when they learned the real rules of the game.
Because the entity only appeared in their apartment after they started to delete the file.
Think about that. It wasn't the recording that triggered it. It wasn't people listening to it. It was the attempt to stop the transmission.
The file is its lifeline, a vector for it to spread.
And the home invasion began, just like the listener reports. A sudden drop in temperature. The fridge motor stuttering. Then, wait. Shifting on the ceiling above them.
Then the tapping, that tick, tick, tick sound circling the outside of the apartment. Window, back door, ceiling hatch. It was looking for a way in.
And it wasn't bound by walls. They described the drywall bulging inward and then this soft sliding hiss of breathing along the baseboard. It was moving through the walls.
Scuttling up toward the ceiling like a spider.
And the vent grill, it was just silently pried open by those same long, gray, wrinkled fingers.
When their phone pinged with a notification, the hand just shot out and shattered the screen. Instantly. It understood the threat of communication.
But then, the laptop pinged with a new email, and the hand paused. It showed this incredible, curious restraint.
It didn't destroy the laptop. It located them on the floor, grabbed their wrists, and physically pulled them toward it.
The message was crystal clear. The device that spreads the signal is sacred. The entity didn't come to silence them.
It came to make sure the upload stayed online. The only way to survive was to continue the infection.
The most horrible choice imaginable. They restored the file from the recycle bin. As the progress bar climbed, 30%, 50%, 94%, the presence was right there, waiting.
The second the upload hit 100%, everything stopped. The pressure, the sound, the movement, gone. The transaction was complete.
The cost of stopping the anomaly was their own life. The cost of survival was to let it spread.
And now they live in this inescapable routine of guilt and terror.
They check the view count every day. 318, 322, 338. Every new number is another victim. And their own life is just this ritual of self-preservation.
Short recordings, close to town, triple-checking every waveform. And at 3:41 a.m. every single night. Earplugs in, lights on, eyes shut tight.
It's no longer just a weird sound. It's the terrifying idea that our digital footprint can become an active, dangerous carrier for something. The act of sharing became a deadly transaction.
Which leaves you with a final, chilling thought. If a simple audio file can capture an anomaly, and then that file can transmit and sustain that anomaly across the globe,
what other hidden frequencies, what other environmental curses are we all unknowingly carrying with us, embedded in the files we share every day, just waiting for the right moment to be played?